Well, as we head into week 8, we are going to be working on another paper, the political frame paper. And I just want to make clear a couple of things. So one of those is that we want to use the same HRD issue as we used in the structural and the human resource paper. So we're not changing. We're not looking for something new in the frame, in that political frame, something different than the structural frame. We want to use the very same issue that we started with. And so then we will look at, as we did with our political map that we talked about this week, we want to then bring that into our paper. Talk about in our organization who has power and who has influence. How are the scarce resources allocated and by whom? Who has that kind of power? Who has that kind of influence? And as you noted, sometimes the people who have influence are not the same as the people who have power. And sometimes the people who have influence don't even have a title. So think about those important people in your company, the people who are the go-to people when you want something to happen. And talk about the political strategies that Bowman and Deal talk about in our text and link them directly to what you see in your company that marries up with the political map that you've presented, and weave back and forth so that you punctuate what you talk about in the political frame paper with the things that you've read about in your text, so that you make your points with using the text, as this is one of the strategies that Bowman and Deal talk about as a political strategy. And we're doing it in our company, and here's who's doing it, and in order to achieve these goals and acquire these scarce resources. And then move back and forth from your company to the text, back to your company, back to the text. We also want to not just at the very end, but to spend time discussing that HRD issue and looking through the lens of the political frame. What do we recommend? What could be something better for communication through the political frame, for example? And who might be able to help us achieve a better communication strategy if we were to roll it out, and here's what we recommend, and here's who can help us make that happen. Link it to the text and weave it through your paper rather than have it as the last sentence. So that will make it stronger. That will give, that will be a way that you craft a proposal, a recommendation for achieving a fix, a solution to the HRD issue that you have addressed in each of the papers so far. Again, we're talking about 4 pages for the content, 1 page for your cover, and 1 page for the reference. Don't forget the reference. So it isn't works cited, it isn't anything else. We want to use references because that's what APA uses. And so our last page should be references, and we should at the very least be referencing our text, Bowman and Deal. But you're welcome to use other references. For example, you might have the technical pieces that you are also linking to and citing that are part of your organization. You might have a human resource manual, you might have your website, you might have other technical references that support the conclusions you're drawing or your recommendation for moving forward. And then, of course, we have our political frame quiz. Again, it is 5 questions. Each of your opportunities will be 60 minutes, and you do have 2 different chances. So with that, We also want to note that because we're working on our paper and our quiz, that we won't have any forum activity this week. So read chapters 9 and 10. No activity because we're working on the political paper, which is due March 7th. And the political frame quiz will open on Sunday and close then on March 7th. After that, coming up, of course, we have our symbolic frame, and we'll begin reading that this week 8. Let's get started.